just get this out the way first, just in case there's some people here, some new people here who do not know. I think that Tory Lanez did exactly what Megan said he did, all right? So yeah, if you're looking for somebody who's gonna talk shit about Megan, you are in the wrong place. I suggest you find somebody else.
Playing some traffic. Don't play with me, ho. This shit gon' get graphic. They say that I'm the blueprint, yeah, they calling me schematic.
Now, like I said, I think that Tory Lanez did this shit, period. I think he did it. So, regardless of however this case turns out, it will not erase that fact in my mind. But it's just the case is getting weirder and weirder. This is coming from Megan Cuniff. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She is a journalist slash senior reporter who has been doing some good reporting on this case and documenting it on Twitter. She just is talking here about the fact that, before we go into like everything that's been happening, but she's talking about the fact that there apparently is some juror issue. I'm gonna read here, but the juror, a young light-skinned black woman with braided hair and a style of dress that included pink cheetah print pants last week, okay girl, was asked to stay behind. Then she went back into chambers to talk to Judge Hereford. Judge Hereford says, juror is number 39. I didn't watch jury selection, but this is a pool report's description of 39. A woman's clothing seamstress who says she's familiar with at least one party in the case through Instagram, but generally isn't on social media. She says she can be fair, and everybody was in the comments like, girl, get her out the courtroom. Get her out the court. I just feel like, and I am not no legal goddamn expert or nothing. I'm sure that's very obvious. I'm sure that's very obvious. But it's just like, with just even the whispers of this trial, I'm not trying to hear that shit. Like, I'm not trying to hear that shit. Also, as you can see from the title, this has come from Rolling Stone. A bodyguard for Megan Thee Stallion is reportedly missing amid Tory Lanez's felony assault trial in LA after he provided a witness statement implicating Tory Lanez, implicating the rapper. So Megan's lawyer said he was set to testify. He's somebody who's always plugged in, on the grid, responsive, and he's set to testify in a violent crimes case. He goes missing. So yeah, Justin Edison is the bodyguard's name, and he was expected to take the stand and say that he visited Tory's house on July 13th, 2020, and heard Lanez confess to being the trigger man in the shooting. So that is very weird to me. Don't know what's going on with that. Apparently LAPD said they investigating, so I mean, I guess we'll find out later what happened. Now, as far as Kelsey goes, girl, she looking so stupid, and I'm just, she's just looking so stupid. You will remember that I brought up Kelsey and how weird everything sounds regarding her. And this just, like, her going up on to testify or whatever, just highlighted that fact. Like, we gotta talk about it. So hopefully I remember to do this, but I'm gonna put the links to all the articles that I'm getting this information from, reading from, in the description. So remember, like I said, Kelsey was supposed to testify. She was Megan's friend. She was in the car when all this, apparently in the car when all this stuff happened. But we have to keep in mind that Kelsey previously gave this recorded interview in September to the prosecutors, just describing all the events that happened. And so what happened in court was that they were trying to compare what she said before to what she's saying now, and the shit looks fucking stupid. Like, it just does. Because I guess in court she was trying to say that all the stuff that she was talking about, even though we recorded you saying this shit, girl, all the shit that she was talking about before in the previous interview, in September interview with the prosecutors or whatever, describing her experience, like I said, she was trying to say that, oh, well, she was not telling the truth. So this is coming from Law and Crime. At one point, Harris was asked about whom she was trying to protect when she supposedly lied during the September interview and said that she saw Lanez firing the gun. And like I said before, because in the recorded September interview with prosecutors, she told them everything she experienced during the night of the shooting, but now she was coming to court saying that she was lying during, you know, a lot of it. So Kelsey had an immunity deal, but the prosecutor's agreement to give Harris immunity meant that she could not plead the fifth, but she asked to do so when asked if Lanez had threatened to shoot her. Do I have to answer that? Harris asked. And she was told, yeah, you do. So she did so by saying, yes, ma'am, affirming that Lanez apparently threatened to shoot her. Asked what Lanez said, Harris asked, can I take my fifth? She was told she would have to speak with her lawyer. So she talked with him for a minute, and then she ended up saying, again, I want to answer my Fifth Amendment. And she was told she would have to answer the question regardless. During this whole 90-minute exchange, Kelsey was trying to avoid answering questions and denied things that she once said were true. They were asking her, why don't you want to answer this question? She was just like, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be here. She was asked again what Lanez told her in the car, and she was like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I don't want to be here. So here's where Kelsey looks even more stupid to me, right? Because she was also asked about Tory Lanez offering her $1 million not to testify against him. The question was, Kelsey, at some point in this case, did Tory try to bribe you? Kelsey Harris said, before, a 20-second pause, apparently. And then after that, she said, not just me. And then so Kelsey was asked who else he was trying to bribe. And that's when Kelsey said, I wouldn't say bribe. She said Tory Lanez said it wasn't about not saying anything, no, but it was mentioned. He mentioned $1 million. I guess it was just about the case. It's like, girl, what are you talking about? So Kelsey Harris was asked then, essentially, like, okay, so did he offer you $1 million to keep quiet about the shooting? And then she said that's not the exact wording. He mentioned the million, but again, it's a blur. And it's just Now, if you remember, Tory Lanez's defense is now that it was Kelsey who fired the bullets that left fragments in Megan's feet. And Kelsey Harris said she heard the accusations, but she said that it's just ridiculous. So I'm just like, girl, at some point, if y'all both have gunshot residue on y'all, it's one of y'all, like, what do you mean? So you can't, it's all a blur if he was giving you or offering you $1 million to shut the fuck up about the case. It's all a blur, but you are the one who shot him, but it's ridiculous that they're implying that you are the one who shot him. It's just like, girl, this shit sounds fucking stupid. So now remember that September interview that I keep mentioning. Apparently the court was only allowed to use certain parts of it, right? But that changed when Tory's lawyer did something that I think was stupid. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I am not even educated in that legal shit in any way, shape, or form. But it's, from my understanding, Tory's lawyer kept trying to insinuate that the prosecution was pressuring Kelsey to tell them what they wanted to hear in that interview, right? In Kelsey's interview that they were using only segments of, right? So what happened, so that opened up the space for the court to say, well, let's hear the whole entire taped interview that Kelsey gave months earlier in September, to see if that's the air that we're getting from it, like to see if we were really pressuring her during that interview to say something. And that's when it went all downhill, because it's like you're comparing what Kelsey was saying during that recorded interview and how open she was to talking and getting all the information out and just like, oh no, this happened, that happened, this happened here, versus the kind of demeanor that she had while she was testifying, acting like she couldn't remember what was going on, denying things that she said were previously true in this interview. So they ended up showing the whole, like, I think it was 80-minute interview. And it's like, if I was Tory's lawyer, which I fucking never would be, I wouldn't want nobody to hear all the shit, the entirety of the interview. Anyway, in that interview that was now opened up, Kelsey told prosecutors, for the entire court to hear, Kelsey told prosecutors that Megan Thee Stallion seemed like a deer in headlights when Tory Lanez opened fire. Kelsey also told prosecutors in the interview that she turned around at the sound of the second or third of 5 gunshots and saw Tory Lanez on the right front passenger side of the Escalade that Megan had exited, shooting over the door. In that interview, she said, I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from, but she confirmed that he was firing it toward Megan after he'd ordered his driver to stop because he wanted them both out, and she exited the Escalade in her swimsuit. Harris said she exited too, and no sooner do you know, you start hearing gunshots going off. That's what she said. Definitely in her direction, obviously about Megan. Yeah, definitely in her direction. She talked about Lanez threatening to shoot her by saying she told him, if you shoot me, you shoot me, I guess it's my time to go. After the gunfire, Harris was near Megan when Lanez started coming towards them, and Kelsey said, I just thought he was coming our way to attack us. At that point, Lanez Kelsey said, he picks me up like a little doll, hitting me and slapping me. I'm still in defense mode. She told prosecutors, adding that her goal was just to get Tory away from Megan. But then she said, but then I became afraid for my life when he started pulling on my hair and neck because it was really hard. Photos of Harris's bruises and missing hair clumps have been displayed in trial and will be evidence for jurors to consider in deliberations. She also recalled Tory Lanez calling her from jail hours after the shooting when she was at the hospital waiting for Meg, saying that at that time she had a friend in jail that she spoke to regularly, so I guess she thought that it was the friend that she was gonna hear on the other, side of the call, because she said it was normal for that friend to call her. But she said, I answered and it was Tory. She recalled how apologetic he was, discussed him later offering money in association with the case, and hearing from his lawyer and telling Lanez that what he did was not okay. Why would you pull out a gun? Harris said she asked Lanez. None of this is okay. So yeah, and I guess we're gonna continue following this until it's over, but no matter how this case ends, like no matter if some mistrial, no matter if, I don't care what happened, you will never, ever, ever get me to think that Tory Lanez didn't do this shit. Especially with the way that Kelsey Harris is twirling the fuck around right now. Like, girl, the whole entire reason the court was even able to listen to it, because they were just gonna use segments of your previous interview. They said, okay, if the lawyer is saying that we pressured you to say some shit, let's just take a look at the whole interview and look at your demeanor then versus now. Look at the things that you're saying, the way that things line up, the things that you're saying line up with all the evidence, all the text you send, the text that you sent out, Tory shot Meg, 911 help. We're just gonna look at the entire interview and look at how all of that shit lines up, look at all the shit you said and look at how it all lines up and your demeanor and how open you were to talking versus now when you're on the stand acting like you can't remember the shit that you just said in fucking September, girl. The shit that happened to you. It's just like, what's not clicking? What's not clicking? That combined with, I guess, what? Did they say Tory's driver went missing as well? Anyway, Megan Thee Stallion's fucking bodyguard going missing. It's just shit, something's fishy. Something's fishy, and we not even at no cookout, we not even at no fish fry for it to be smelling like, you seriously, for it to be smelling like this? Something's up. So I just want to hear what y'all gotta say about this shit. I really want y'all, just put in my comments. I want to see what y'all think about this shit, because Kelsey Harris looking so weird in the light, I'm sorry. Is she looking weird in the light, bitch? What you mean you can, oh, well, it wasn't technically a bribe. He did say something about $1 million. Maybe it was about the case, but I can't really remember if it's about the case or me not testifying against them. Blah, blah. Girl, that coupled with your September interview, please get the fuck out of my face. Please get out of my face. So yeah, tell me what y'all think about this. Love y'all so much. Thank you so much for checking out the video. And make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me.